I'm George the Yank, this is Getting Tabled, and today we're unboxing Primal, The Awakening. Primal the Awakening is a fully cooperative monster hunting board game for 1 to 4 players set as a fantasy world where humans struggle to survive against the untamed wilderness. Basically, it's just a big boss fight. There's nothing but you just sit down, you kill the monster. There's 4 characters. Going to go into this a little more in the unboxing. So let's go ahead and switch the camera view and take a look at this big box. And I mean, it is huge. Alrighty, so went ahead and cracked it open to grab the rule book, and it is quite literally a book. And go over some of the stuff. So here's parts of the monster dashboard. You're going to have the miniature, obviously. We'll go over those. The actual dashboard itself, with the monster name, trophy icon, the monster element, the health track, and behavioral slots. It has a behavioral deck, the AI, a stance deck. This is what, where you attack or where you're getting attacked from. And a peril deck. It's a peril. Objective, attrition, and struggle tokens. I don't know how I feel about a game with struggle tokens. There's already enough struggling in life. As I said, there's some hunters. There are 4 base hunters. They are based off of their type of weapon, how they're armed out. So you got great sword, hammer, great bow, sword, and shield with the names. I am not going to attempt to pronounce those. I don't know if you can even see those looking at this glare. Let me turn that light down as dim as it gets. Maybe if I turn this one off and try again. No, it's too dark. That's better. Okay. So, maybe that is a little dark. I can't tell. I need a better third-party, or not third-party, display to see what's going on. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Okay. So we'll continue on. Types of action cards. You got dodge cards, parry cards, maneuver cards, attack cards. This all seems pretty straightforward as far as what the cards do. I mean, it seems very, this is based off a video game. You have mastery cards, equipment cards. So here's what we're talking about with the flanks and stances. So you got front, rear, and the flanks. There is some orientation for the miniature on the game board. I did get the neoprene one, and it is a fairly small game board. This game does not take a huge footprint to play. Of course, like I said, you got the game board. That is the size of it. I'll show you the neoprene one here in a bit. And you got all your various tokens. Like I said, there's the monster dashboard and all the associated items with the monster. Then you have the player dashboards with the miniature and all their associated decks. And obviously basic setup instructions. So they're doing looks like a 2-player setup here with 1 monster. And like I said, it looks pretty straightforward and simple. How to play section, player turn structure, gives you some good graphics on the flank structure, I suppose, best way to put it. Let's see, I did see this when I was flipping through, and this is just for the core game. I do have all the expansions, right? So here's the game board, the 4 heroes, and then here are the monsters that come with it. So we got, what, 3, 6, 12, 11 monsters that come with this core set. Which is probably why the box is so gigantically huge. Then there's a campaign book, and this is obviously if you're playing the game in a campaign mode. So put those to the side. This is the game board. The neoprene version of it. Where's the seam to open it? There it is. We'll crank the light back up. Alright, so I mean, that's it. That's not a very big game board. You know, I mean, my mouse pad is bigger than this. So, let's go ahead and start breaking into some of these components. Alright, we're going to do it this way because I am not going to try to have that gigantic box on my desk. There's just no way around it. That thing is huge. And we're not going to do that. So, let's break into some of the stuff. So here's the actual game board, and I'm kind of disappointed that they made it to fold up because there's no reason why it can't just be one flat piece inside the box itself. It's smaller than the box. It could have just been a flat piece in the box. This is the various zones. This is part of the campaign mode, so different zones have different monsters based off of, you know, the conditions where the monster would live. Let's see. Snack. A little bit of tape. For any of those who've watched in the past, you know that tape is the bane of my existence on these boxes. I understand the purpose of it. I don't like it. It's not going to stop me from complaining about it. Looks like everything was packaged very nicely as far as foam, to make sure nothing's flying around, bouncing around, getting damaged. I'm just going to pop all these cards out. Do not open it until instructed. I'm opening it. Oop, tore it a little bit. Oh well. Okay. Nothing too huge. It's a effect for the game. Don't know how much that affected my knowledge looking at that. Whatever. Alrighty, so it looks like they used the cheapest way to package the cards. I'm probably not going to go through all these because a lot of these are just the monster decks, so see if there's any quick, fast way to identify what the monster is. It's your typical cardstock, very similar to Fantasy Flight Games. It's got the little kind of grid pattern in it. I guess there's an icon here in the top left. It looks like that's identifying what monster the deck is for. There are some names here. Let's see, yeah, there's so there's different stances for this Korowan. Don't know if I'm saying that right. But here's, I think, the important part of some of these cards. So yeah, you've got a little tabbed divider for your heroes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's interesting because I'm fairly certain there's only 4 heroes. I'll have to look into that some more. And then dividers for all of the monsters. So, and it looks like they're color coded based off their zone and region. Let's see here. Yeah, if we look here, it looks like these colors coincide with the zones they're located at. So That's really good because that allows you to have all these decks and just be able to pull one out real quick and go to town. As far as playing the game, picking a monster, whatever. Set those to the side. So these look like the player cards, obviously. Well, yeah, that just... It's hard to tell if I've got too much glare on this or if my external display is just that crappy and I can't see it. Like I said, the card stock's fine. I don't know if I'd want to go through and sleeve all of them. I don't think there's enough room in the box for that. Oh, here we go on the back. Let's see. It looks like these are all for the Sword Hero. So these are, yeah, so the decks are divided up based off the type of, weapon that the designation for the character, except for some of these. Seems pretty straightforward so far. This deck looks like more of the same. And, oh yeah, so we got some monster pictures here. So my guess is that's just more of the same for monster decks. What we got here? These look like some items. Now, like I said, it did have a campaign mode, so these items are probably something you would track. And as you go through, you get equipment, you level up your character. Character gets stronger, can take on bigger and bigger, more powerful monsters. Let's see, we got any sort of difference on a couple different pictures. Now there are multiple decks here, or multiple stacks, so we're not going to go through all of those. Some baggies for the various tokens. And then this little tiny deck. This is made by Reggie Games. I've never heard of them until I saw this Kickstarter. And they did have a little bit of a delay as far as getting the game produced and shipped out. But they did get it made. They did get it produced. They did not ask for additional contributions. That's going to be a big thing going forward for me after the last couple issues with some campaigns out there asking for more contributions and exorbitant contributions, in my opinion. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Mythic Games. Let's see. So this looks like just, yeah, these look like equipment cards here as well. So like actual weapons specific to the character. So you got the shield, hammer, crossbow, the sword. I'm guessing the colors obviously have to do with different levels of strength, obviously. The artwork on these is really decent. It's very, oh, what's the word? It's very video gamey for sure. God, that looks so cool. They've used just about every size of card you could in a game. You got the little tiny ones to normal size to square ones, and of course they're not quite tarot size, but they're pretty close to a tarot size. Alrighty, and then getting into the tokens. So some terrain tokens, and I believe I got the add-on. You can see it from here. Yeah, it looks like I got the add-on for terrain, so that may not be overly necessary. The artwork on these tokens is very good as well, and these look like condition tokens here. I'm guessing hit points and wounds. More wound tokens, I'm guessing. So, nothing too crazy here. Now here's where I start to get a little bit of a, I'm not going to say issue, but issue. Board games with consumables. I am not the biggest fan of a board game with consumables. I mean, there's a decent amount here, but it means at some point, you know, you run the risk of running out of these, or you have to make extraordinary efforts to, say, go get some of these laminated so you can dry erase them, reuse them. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but that is what it is. Let's see here if I can, there we go. Not a fan of that, just the normal shrink wrapping, because it does make it more difficult. These look like zones, varying levels. It's the same on front and back. Looks like this is what you can loot, the various types of equipment. So, and again, we have color-coded zones to go with the regions, to go with the monsters. So, and that's just an assumption, but it looks fairly straightforward as far as, you know, how that's set up. Now there are different levels, so we got level 1, level 2, and then we have the level 3s. So, now with that, it looks like there's quite a bit of replayability with this game, which that's also a oh, here we go. There's the little dividers for the equipment cards. I'll probably go through and figure out how everything is sorted, and go through and do that off camera. Getting this put together. And finally, the last little bit before we get into what makes this game cool are the dashboards. Alright, so here we have one of the heroes. Big weapon, helm, looks like body armor, and potions. So that looks like all the equipment. Some people have shadow behind their eyes, and that shadow moves a force that can explode at any moment. The force raises the sword that strikes with brutality, without mercy, and compromise. So, little thing for each hero. And then we got the monster. Wound track, different action cards, just an image of it. I'm just gonna, the artwork on these, like this one right here. I'm sure someone, probably not me, but someone could probably do the amazing job of painting the miniatures to match the monsters. Like this guy with his little purple nodules. And this Felixar. So, here's something to point out. So, weaknesses. So, there's just like a video game fight, right? Certain things are going to be weak to certain things. And here we go. Yeah, so we got the zone that you would find it in. And then the ID for the monster for its corresponding deck. So, I'm guessing the Awakened is the big guy, because he has no weaknesses and he's just, you know, yeah. Oh, and he has a second dashboard. Goes together like that. Which means he has a double picture on the back. So yeah, I'm guessing he's the big bad boss. We'll have to do him last for sure. Let's see. Do these look at these in any sort of order. It's hard to tell. We'll try to make sure we do the Awakened last though, because he's probably going to be the biggest, coolest mini in the box. And I'm going to set these off to the side as references for when I'm going through the minis. Just to give you an idea, there's a top tray of minis, so. This may shock you, it's taped together. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this bit right here, and I'll swap out the lens for close-ups. Okay, and we're back here. So we're going to start with the Sword and Shield guy. And just looking at this, the detail on shield is really cool. Not the best quality of plastic I've seen on miniatures. They're very light. The sword feels a little flimsy, not too terrible. We got the hammer. This one feels a little sturdier. The core box, I believe, came in at 21 pounds for shipping. I'd have to double check that. This bow character looks very, look at that. Very flimsy and whatnot. The detail is really good on these. I cannot fault them on that. As far as the mold lines, I can't really make any out here, and I'm trying to keep this as centered as possible. I really think I should maybe get a different monitor for looking at this, and one that has a better resolution. Because if it's just the right angle, it goes completely shadow. It's a dragon wing for the cape. Like I said, this all looks really good. The face on this does look rather small, so this is obviously on a little bit of a smaller scale. Alrighty, and then we're going to start in on some monsters here. Now, I'm going to say one thing here. They're not labeled at all, so that is a little disappointing. As you can see, they've done like the hollow one-piece casting. There is some, obviously slide for gluing stuff together, so you could, in theory, separate this guy from the base, panic glue it back together. Now we're going to point out here these little tabs by my thumbs. That shows their stance for when they go on the mat here. So this does look really good, detail-wise. These are really kind of very showcase centerpiece type miniatures. Way better detail than the heroes you play as. But you can only get so much when you're dealing with the scales you are. Got a big pinchy crab here. Some of the detail here. I mean, look at the barnacle growth and stuff you got on this guy. Just some of the going through and doing like the slap chop base, or prime it, stipple it, and just dry brush it out would make so much detail on these just pop and make them look so amazing. So let's see here. Go through some of these here. Okay, so that was the coral one that we looked at just now. And the first one, so easy these are to suss and sort out from each other with only pictures. I'm guessing the first one we looked at is this Huron, right? Yeah, that looks about right. So this one is the Felix art. This is the Crystal Cat with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tails. Let's see, and it looks like, so yeah, it does look like if you were so ambitious, you would be able to separate the monsters from the bases to do all your painting. I do like the detail they've got here on the mouth. That is pretty fantastic. That would make it really simple and nice to do a better job of painting. Alright, what we got here? We got something with horns and 2 tails. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is I want to see how easy it is to, like I said, find the card and, you know, monster without, you know, having to paint it up. So this is the Karaja. I'm horrible at pronouncing some of these things. It's not my forte. It does look really cool. You do have some of the crevices, so you could do some highlighting a lot easier as far as to get the fire effect. Again, these miniatures are very well done as far as how they look. Alrighty, so next up, we've got a giant beetle here. Osway? Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. That's the kind of plastic it is. I mean, on these it's not too bad. On the heroes, it's pretty terrible, I think. But the level of detail they have managed to get on these monsters is pretty awesome. Bill, but I don't know if I would try to conventionally paint these or slap shop them. I almost think the slap chalking would be a good use of that technique, just because, you know, there are a lot of miniatures just in the core box, and on this very organic miniature, that technique does do really good. Taraga, I don't know. Very, very big horned head and armor. Almost, I don't know, not even elephant-like. But it's got heft to it. I mean, this is all solid. I'm trying to do these in order of smallest to biggest and, you know, smallest to coolest. This is a very interesting head. A Tormat. I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but there's the mouth. So with that, I don't know. I maybe do all the dry brushing while it's on the base, so that, you know, you have the darker underside where you can't get to as easily. Then pop it off and go through and hit it with paint, so that, you know, you can hit it with the color, make it look good. I mean, just all this texture and detail on the back that would just pop so well with good dry brushing, and then throwing contrast over that would just really make them stand out and look pretty fantastic. That guy. this one, I believe, the Ornex. This has been the hardest one to identify, but I think this is it. It's very, very interesting because these are obviously very sea turtle shaped legs, but they're more wing-like the way they put on there. Got lots of stuff kind of attached and growing off of him. Wonder how hard it would be to pop one of these off. I won't mess with that camera here. Next up, we've got Crystal Godzilla, Morcrass. As we go up in size here, they are getting heavier. That is a huge, solid tail this guy's sporting, and then these gems on his back. I feel like there's an easy way to do those and make them look good. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But the detail on these is really fantastic. I mean, these board game miniatures that they're doing nowadays are just, they keep pushing and pushing and pushing the level. Here we have Jericho's. Jekros? I don't know. This has a very kaiju look from Pacific Rim. Quite the tail on it too. Now, as far as board game minis go, these are some of the ones I'm most excited about looking at because of just the scale they are and the detail they have. Vraxen, very wyvern-like, in my opinion. Some big leathery bat wings. I have not. The last time I did bat wings, it was on a Demon Prince for 40K, and I want to say I did 5 different colors of dry brushing on the wings to get a good texture for color pops. So I'm really interested to see how contrast paints do on that. Then we have Digorax. This is a very traditional looking dragon as far as its shape and appearance. And finally, there we go, Be Awakened. And so I was going to save this for last. Yeah, he's big. Put him down on his little. Oh, move this dashboard out of the way. So here he is on the playmat. I know it's a little off focus, but I got the close-up lens on. So I mean, he's taking quite a bit of that. But there's a wing in the palm of my hand. I mean, that is a substantial mini. I don't know if it'd be worth taking the time and like trying to hide the seam right here on his head. But I mean, all these spines on his back, the actual scale texture on his wings. Yeah, this looks great. Overall, appearance of the minis, I'm going to give this game I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know what else I could say is better than that for a board game that would warrant a 10. I'm sure there's something out there. But the game seems fairly straightforward and simple, without getting too overly complicated. A deck per monster, a deck per hero. That seems pretty straightforward. I mean, a very small playing area. I mean, this is the kind of thing where you could sit down at a coffee table with your friends and play this game. You don't need, a 4 foot by 6 foot, gaming table covered because there's so much like some of the games I've seen out there. Massive Darkness 2 takes up a lot of real estate. trying to think of some of the others that Cthulhu Death May Die doesn't take up too much space. Lords of Ragnarok, that takes up space. So this will be interesting to go through. I am going to go through and paint these, I think. I got a couple things ahead of these that I need to work on. I don't know about the heroes, but I definitely want to paint these monsters. They do look fantastic. I've got a few more videos to do. I've got the terrain box. There's the 5th hero. I got that. And then 4 more monster boxes. I don't know if it's just 1 monster per box or if there's a couple per box or whatnot, but I will definitely be going through those. Those will get their own separate videos, so we're not running too long like we did on this one. But I'm pretty interested to take a look at this game. I was a little like I forgot about it for a bit, and it got delayed, and then I didn't know if I wanted it. And now that I've got it, I'm glad that it showed up. So stay tuned for the rest of the unboxings on this, and until next time, play more games.
Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more.